in terms of you being a business owner, and I know one of the key things when we first started having conversations with each other was, we hit it off straight away around rugby league, and then we hit it off straight away because our kids are the same age, and then straight away we had something outside of work and business to talk about. Yep. And I know one of the things that, without answering the question for you, that is quite difficult about being a business owner is managing that family life and also being able to run a business. It does become quite difficult because you can't take your hats off even though you want to. How have you found that with having a little one that's, you know, 3 now?
My kids are 4 and 3 now. I'm fully all in and committed to whatever the environment I'm in. So my wife used to ask me, you know, do you miss the kids while you're at work? And I hesitantly had to say, well, no, because I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm at work, I'm in work mode, and when I'm at home, I'm in home mode. Whereas before, I used to, you know, before the kids were born, my phone was constantly on. You know, in the morning, you know, I was on my phone on my emails. Whereas now in the morning, I get up, you know, play with the kids, and my work mode starts when I'm in the car, generally speaking, unless it's an emergency, of course. But that was a balance. That's what I'd struggled with early days. I was trying to do trying to do too much work when I was at home. Then I was feeling guilty that you know, the kids were seeing me on the phone all the time, or, you know, when they wanted my attention. So yeah, that was the biggest struggle. And obviously, I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband at home, but I also want to be a good MD at work.
I completely agree, and I have the same here. One of the biggest challenges that I have is that, especially when you're picking kids up and taking them to nursery and stuff, you're time bound. You've got to go, but you can't not pick them up by a certain time. So no matter how busy you are, you literally have to take that hat off. Yeah. You've got to take your MD hat off and put your dad hat on, literally within 20 minutes of each other. And it's not so easy to do. It is quite difficult. It can be quite challenging, especially when the two start to bleed into each other and you start getting pulled from pillar to post. It's, you know, being a business owner and being responsible for people's salaries and getting wages in and keep making sure that in manufacturing that, you know, your suppliers and your quality and everything's maintained. But then you've also got non-business stuff that creeps into being a business owner, don't you?
I think one of the biggest things you struggled with when you sort of took full reins of the business was actually thinking you had to be here, 9 to 5. And you know, you used to sort of come to me and say, "Oh, I need to go and do so and so." And it's your business, you know. You just do it. It's I think sometimes because you want to create that right impression for the people that work with you, but to be honest, you do that without knowing it, and also you give that back. So it's like, I know that if I need some time out of the office, I can just go to Dom and say, "Yeah, fine, just do it."
Yeah. And that's one of the real key things what I've learned over the last year is, you know, we always treat everybody with absolute, you know, respect, and we, you know, our little motto at work is family first. You know, family first. Get your home life sorted out. Get your kids sorted out. Wives, you know, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it is. Just get your home life sorted out. The bollard, you know, we're not running an ambulance service. We're making bollards and street furniture, and it's not until recently I've really sort of flipped it around and thought, well, no, live by that standard yourself. You don't need to go around everybody in the building and say, I'm just going to pick the kids up, I'm just going to see my mum, I'm just going to see this, you know. So since I've done that and it's sort of the rest of it easier with me being able to do that, I'm so much calmer with it because I've not got that guilt of push pull, you know. And I think I really do hope that all the team, you know, think that, and I'm pretty much sure they do, because, you know, they just say, you know, I need to be at home for this and that. Yeah. So I think it's reciprocated in the right way. So yeah, that's the biggest change on that for me.
Coming back to more of the business side of things then, one of the things that I've tried to create here at Brook is bringing all of our client base together and collaborating, because we've got laser cutters, we've got food manufacturers, we've got logistics companies, you name it, we've got it on our client base. But specifically in manufacturing, we've got so many different manufacturers in different sectors that everybody could do business together with each other, and actually we would be the facilitator behind that, by not just bringing our delivery partners together, but actually the people who pay for our services. Is that something within manufacturing that you see potentially more recently?
Well, when we first set up, we had to go. It was quite a long time ago now, but there was a very strict, unspoken rule of manufacturer, trade supplier, distributor. So we were manufacturer, sold to a distributor, and then they expected a trade price, and there was a margin in the job to be able to put on their margin and then sell on to the end user. That margin's totally disappeared now, just because of pricing competition behind it. So over the years, it's become more acceptable to deal with everybody. So now I think, and it's only recently, these last few months, where we actually are opening up, partnerships with other people and sort of shouting about it as well and saying, yeah, we are working with, this company, we are working with that company, and not being scared of it. Before, in the manufacturing, in certainly in our industry, everybody was pressured about supply chain, everybody was pressured about clients. Whereas, like LinkedIn, for instance, I wouldn't post to say that we worked with X client because I was thinking, I don't want the competitors to see that. Whereas now, shout about it. The client will decide who they want to place that business with based on, relationship, your service and your quality. Let them make that decision. Don't think that, they're there just for a limited amount of time. So, yeah, it has. We're totally opened up to that now.
What's some of the most helpful collaborations that you've actually had? Obviously, you don't have to name anyone that you've actually collaborated with, but what's a typical example of a collaboration that you've actually done?
Well, we've got an internal one anyway within Group, Q50 Street Furniture. So when we originally, when Q50 came to come about, they were made to be a reseller of our product to clients who our client base weren't being successful with. And over the years, they've just developed into being a subcontract installer who then just buy our product, go to site, install it. It's just, it's a standard installation business, really good one at that, and it's of course that buy 100% of the products off us. The loyalty's there. Yeah. We know it's repeat custom, and it's great. We're working with another subcontract installer on the south coast now to save our lads travelling up and back down. We're not ready to release it yet, but we're working in partnership with those. So yeah, it's just being more open too. Not everybody's out to screw you over. You are allowed to have good, honest, loyal relationships. And over the year, we have been burnt by a few bad relationships over the years. So it's just sort of dusting ourselves off and thinking, well, not everybody operates like that. So we're open to it now.
And I think that you won't come across many people in industry that wouldn't have had some form of bad collaboration at some point along the way. I think everyone that we speak to has always said...
We've had more than a fair share, though. If we can't have one more, it's not possible.
But you know what? And it depends on your outlook on it, doesn't it? You can sit there and you can dwell on it, and it can become... I wouldn't say much bigger than it actually is, because obviously it's quite big, especially if you're getting let down on payments or products or quality, whatever. But it's just about dusting yourself off and moving on, isn't it? You can sit there and dwell on it and beat yourself up about a bad decision that's happened, or you can learn from your mistakes and put it to one side and just know that cabinet that's got all your mistakes and it's not going to get opened again.
Yeah. Resilience and persistence, that's all it is, and trusting your gut feeling about things. I have ignored my gut feeling on every single bad decision we've had over the last few years.
So you knew it was going to go. Yeah.
I knew it was, but I just saw the good. I saw the opportunity, and I saw the good in the person. Whereas now, I've got a few more years under my belt. Whereas I've annoyed the life out of Sally because she's telling me not to do it. This deal is bad, this person is bad. I'm like, no, this one's all right. We're going to be all right this time. And lo and behold, they're not. So, yeah, trust your gut instinct. Do your homework, trust your gut instinct. So
it's an hard one, that, though, isn't it? Because it's like gut instinct. What is gut instinct? Nobody can define exactly what it is, but it's that something there, and it's not. We had a conversation about this the other week when I just said I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something not right.
Correct.
And I think that should then lead you to then start doing the analysis on it and try and work it out.
Well, my new little approach is head and heart. So my head and heart, as soon as they align, So when they disagree, you're still debating, aren't you? But as soon as your head and heart make a decision, that you go with that decision. That's my new ruling. That's it. And so far over the last few months, it's served me very well. And I definitely have got, not entered some agreements with some people. What could have led me down? And if I'd have been in that same position 18 months ago, I'd have done it.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people's almost afraid to say that because what textbook's that in? It's not in any textbook, but it's something you learn just through sort of like doing it.
Yeah.
We said exactly the same to a couple of episodes ago with Tom, where there is no managing director's textbook, is there? You don't go to university and learn how to become an MD of a business or a director of a business or whatever. The majority of it, apart from the technical aspect that you have to learn through training, most of it just comes through experience and learning from mistakes and picking up from people who you surround yourself by, or the peer networks that you've got, or just talking like this, like I mentioned last time, to go, well, I've never had the head and heart analogy, which we'll probably take that away now and use it here because it's great.
You've got to be able to show that vulnerability though, and this is what your dad really opened it up with me because I trust your dad implicitly. It made us feel at ease. And he was like, look, just get it all out on the open. Let's really delve into it, find out what it is. Old business coach from many moons ago, taught respect for the chap, John Davison. He always used to say, look, it doesn't matter how deep a bucket of muck it is, get your hand in and get to the bottom of it. And it's things like this what stick to you, stick with you now. So I think showing that vulnerability, realising exactly where you've gone wrong, and just being honest with yourself and just say, allow yourself to make a mistake. I think, well, just don't do it again and crack on with it.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Biz15, the voice of the SME. Follow us on LinkedIn, which is Brook Corporate Developments. Follow us on Instagram, which is Brook Consult, and also Facebook, Brook Consult. And you can listen to these podcasts on Apple and Spotify.